What's up guys, SkyKevin here, and today I'm very excited to talk about some fantastic new changes for LO that have me and many others very excited for the future of the game. So, let's get started. On the 5th of November, Donkey Crew released what was seemingly another patch with some minor changes and bug fixes, along with the new Hercule Walker to the recent update. Or, at least that's what we thought would be the case. Instead, we got a fantastic new update that changed the overall core gameplay of Last Oasis. This change lies chiefly in the spawning mechanic for walkers. Now, on any map in LO, if you want to spawn on an allied walker, you first have to go to the helm and register that as your only spawn point on the map. If you've seen my previous video on teleporting to different grids, I addressed this problem months ago, and I'm very happy to see that the devs have dealt with it now. This means that any clan that wants to operate as a walker crew must now determine beforehand where their only spawn point will be. This is, in my opinion, a huge change to the game's anti-ZERG meta. Now, instead of the ZERGs being able to fan out on a grid and spawn on a walker that's getting attacked individually, they will now have to travel from wherever they are currently located. I wholeheartedly believe that this change will be excellent for smaller groups, as now the meta has changed from a solo player roaming on a single walker until they find a fight, and then a clown car spawning all of their allies in, to dedicated crews that need to stick together on either the same walker or smaller walkers that must be located nearby to still be part of a fight. Just as an example, the other day my friend and I decided to pick a fight with one of the local ZERG clans on the beta branch. We rolled up on 2 individuals with dinghy walkers, and a great 2v2 fight ensued. We had a long back and forth for about 15 minutes, until about 10 people with various walkers came roaring in to help them. Yes, in the end, we still got zerged down and our walker was looted, but ironically, we actually looted more weapons and gear from the fight itself, and thanks to some quick thinking from my friend, he got away and stashed it nearby. So after the Zerg finally got bored and left, we were able to leave with basically more than what we came with, albeit some general wood and fiber missing from our walker. I think that more and more examples like this will start to take hold, as quality is now going to become much more important than quantity, depending on who you have in your walker crew. Additionally, the disproportionate rate of harvesting resources will change as well, making it much harder for the ZERGs to farm such large quantities of resources. There will definitely still be some benefit to being in a larger clan, such as sharing quality tools and walkers for specific purposes. But now they are forced to either send out these walkers with one vulnerable player or a crew of 4 to 5 players or even larger that will likely be spending a large portion of their time just sitting around on the walker waiting for a fight. Smaller groups will have to do this too, but it evens the playing field where you'll have a lot more 1v1s, 2v2s, and 4v4s that naturally happen as you come across enemy walkers when you're on your own. You do still have to deal with the Zerg eventually catching you, but now the smaller clans have a very good fighting chance when dealing with the larger ones. And there isn't much that they miss out on, given that smaller clans generally already operate in this way of having a small crew on their one walker, at least in my experience. From what I've seen so far, the large clans hate this new update. I've already found many of them complaining, which ironically is a good thing for the overall player base. They benefit because it's harder to solo grief someone, since you now need to have a walker nearby with water to be able to spawn in. However, now when fighting these large clans, you can single out a walker that doesn't have a large clue, and thereby will likely see a lot of smaller groups wreaking havoc on ZERGs, as long as they can be in the right place at the right time and get in and out quickly before the ZERG has time to show up. I'm personally quite excited for this meta change. I've always been a fan of the idea that we have a larger walker, like a Falco or even Titan, carrying smaller walkers on it, like a mothership. I think that any clan that wants to stay a large Zerg will likely have to adopt this kind of strategy so that all their members can still benefit from their numbers by being close by and having their walkers pooled together. This also comes with a ton of new playability when it comes to resource caches and large-scale PvP. Let's say clans now have to have a single Domus walker that carries all their resources, their tools, weapons, and crafting stations. They can send out smaller walkers to do their own farming and gathering nearby, but they will largely have to come back to the main walker and stay relatively within its vicinity. Any attacking clan might load up on their walker and decide to come in for a fight on that specific Domus walker. If they're victorious, they will be able to find some loot on the main walker that they attacked, which is something that usually clans would either hide the loot or log off in previous meta. In my experience with that previous season, all the large clans would simply keep resources logged off in a walker called a vault walker and bring any battle walkers in if a fight was about to ensue. Now, that's going to be extremely difficult for them because they can't simply bring the walker into the grid and spawn the rest of the crew in. They either need to pick up crew members randomly in the desert as they spawn or meet them all at the trade station, taking up very precious and valuable time. All in all, you're still going to have battle-specific walkers that large groups will go out roaming on. However, now, every walker must be equipped to defend itself should it be attacked in that moment, and off-map vault walkers will hopefully no longer be an efficient means of storage, because if a single player in one of these Zerg clans goes to the edge of the map to take something out of a large base, and another clan comes in to attack it, the attacking clan will have no problem dealing with them quickly, looting the base, and getting out before the other clan can get organized with the counterattack. At least that's the idea that I'm thinking, and it remains to be seen, but so far, it looks promising. I'm a big fan of this idea that an attacker's advantage now can affect the smaller groups. Before, small clans always would end up joining the ZERGS so that they have the security against such attacks. Now, there is no security. If you get attacked on your walker, no matter what size clan you are, all that matters is who's there at the time and can they PvP. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, and if you're one of those disaffected players that was part of a small clan and decided to quit the game because you just got zerged down so many times. And tell me whether a huge change like this could bring you and your friends back to the game. As an aside, I did want to touch on some of the other changes I haven't mentioned yet. One of the big ones is the increased redeploy cooldown of 24 hours. Now, if you want to have someone tile hop, you can do this for free once per day. Otherwise, it's going to cost you 500 flots every time you jump to a new tile. This is a great change in my opinion, as it limits the ability to naked spawn on different tiles and randomly scout for targets. Instead, people will have to actually bring some kind of scout walker into that grid if they want to have a look around. This also accounts for the quests in each of the different trade stations, where someone can't just hop from trade station to trade station and find the quests that they want to do. This of course will help with this situation, but it all depends on whether the value of flots can stay high, and we don't have players that end up having 500,000 flot bank accounts where the teleport fee is nothing. So far with my experience on the beta branch, however, it feels like it's just enough that 500 flots isn't a big deal if you need to go from one tile to the other, but you don't want to go wasting them by hopping around to every grid on the map, looking for a better quest or looking for other players to attack. I should mention that there were some other good changes in this update as well. The Hercule Walker that I mentioned earlier generates torque by burning water over top of lava. The new Ancient City map started spawning, which includes much better rewards and larger loot stashes on the map and operates just like an asteroid map in terms of time the tile is active and whether you can spawn directly on that map. Bases now decay over time and need to use a maintenance chest with resources to keep them together, so likely we won't see as many proxy walkers that are completely encased by buildings anymore. They added an option to spawn in an off-map lobby to bring walkers onto the main map from the desert more easily. They added hardened hellfire bolts, which only hurt soft armor, but will burn at 3 times the speed, which is great for legging other walkers in battle. And a change which I was saying back when the game first released, they finally increased torque backpacks from 300 torque to 3000 torque. I was telling all my clanmates that that probably was supposed to be the case from the beginning. They also increased the projectile damage done to walkers from 5% to 10%, which I believe makes it do double damage, but I haven't done any testing on it so far. And they made the world map show the best prices for trading. With all these changes, I'm very excited and reinvigorated to see the direction that Last Oasis is going. I think this next season is going to play completely different from how it had in the past, and likely it'll be a lot more fun with a lot higher stakes. Now, Zergs are just as vulnerable as solo players roaming around, and everyone will need to be prepared for a fight at any time. We'll have to see just how much these limits affect Zergs, and whether they can find any sneaky ways around those mechanics. I'm hopeful that everyone else will come back for Season 2 and look forward to experiencing the new meta for Last Oasis. That's it for today. If you like this video and want more updates on LO and other MMOs that I play, don't forget to hit subscribe. And I try to answer all my questions, so if you have anything that you want to ask or just want to say hi, leave one down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.